Hello, welcome to the program, The Infrastructure, where we will be looking at infrastructural development in Nigeria, Africa, and around the world. When we talk about infrastructure, we should talk about Abuja, known for its infrastructural development. So, starting from Abuja, have you ever heard of the Abuja Boulevard, or where it is located here in Abuja? This will be finding out on today's edition of the program, where Dr. Ahmed Opalua, the Vice Chairman, Council of Registered Builders of Nigeria, will be talking about the Abuja Boulevard. Also, as an attempt to get renewable energy, the whole world is moving from hydroelectricity to solar. How can Nigeria tap into this, considering the abundance of sunlight in Nigeria? All this and more on the infrastructure today. But just before then, here is the infrastructure news. President Muhammadu Buhari sets a new power target of 11,000 megawatts by 2023. Governor Ihedioha of Imo State meets President Buhari over deficiency of infrastructure in Imo State. Work to resume on Penn Cinema Bridge in Lagos. President Muhammadu Buhari unveiled a new power target for the country following the signing of an electricity roadmap agreement between the federal government and German-based Siemens. The signing of the implementation agreement was held at the Presidential Villa Abuja. The Director General of the Bureau of Public Enterprise, Dr. Alex Oko, signed on behalf of the federal government, and the Chief Executive Officer of the Siemens, Mr. Joe Kesser, signed for the firm. The deal was the product of a meeting President Buhari held with German Chancellor Angela Merkel on August 31, 2018. Speaking after the signing, the president said the government's goal was to deliver electricity to Nigerian businesses and homes. The president challenged Siemens to work hard to achieve 7,000 megawatts of reliable power supply by 2021 and 11,000 megawatts by 2023. Governor Emeka Ihedioha of Imo State on Monday met behind closed doors with President Muhammadu Buhari at the Presidential Villa Abuja, where he solicited for presidential intervention in the infrastructure deficiency in his state. Ihedioha, who spoke with State House correspondents at the end of the meeting, said that he discussed the issue of agriculture and how the state could benefit from the federal government's agricultural intervention programs. According to him, Imo needs the federal government support in all facets of the economy. He said the federal government needs to support the state in agriculture because his predecessor didn't take advantage of government policies in agriculture. There will soon be respite for motorists plying Agege Penn Cinema Axis in Lagos, as State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu assures accelerated completion of the abandoned Penn Cinema Bridge. The governor spoke recently while inspecting ongoing rehabilitation work on major roads in Iju area of the state by Lagos State Public Works Corporation. Expressing concern over the pains residents go through due to regular gridlock on the alternative roads occasioned by abandoned project, Sanwo-Olu said his government would compensate for the discomfort by ensuring timely completion of the bridge. The governor said the ongoing road repair across the state was an outcome of his executive order, which declared emergency rehabilitation of critical roads. Sanwo-Olu said the repair was being carried out in 6 segments, pointing out that the highways and the arterial carriages were captured in the first set of repair across the state. This is the news on infrastructure. We will continue shortly after the break. Welcome back. In Abuja, the Federal Capital Territory, there is a place called the Abuja Boulevard. It is supposed to be the heartbeat of the Abuja downtown, where all the major business activities takes place. It is supposed to be a 24-hour society where nobody goes to sleep. When completed, the boulevard will look like the Rodeo Drive in Los Angeles, United States, and is expected to boost tourism in the city. Well, it's 43 years now after the creation of Abuja. What happened to the Abuja Boulevard? Is it a forgotten project, or is it still in progress? Let's join Dr. Ahmed Opalua, the Vice Chairman, Council of Registered Builders of Nigeria, as he tells us about the Abuja Boulevard.
They call it the boulevard. Well, what you will see, the main cardinals are already in place. That's the stadium there. The National Stadium is in place. Eagle Square, the Villa, and the other aspects are in place. The Federal Secretariat are in place. So what remains is actually between these two, the National Hospital and the Federal Secretariat. And then, of course, the 10-lane streets that are the site. And that's supposed to be the core, in fact, the downtown. We have 5 lanes, I think, on both sides now. And it's still ongoing. You can see it there. Straight down, and then going round. Yeah, and then coming back. So this is supposed to be a 24-hour section, inner core of the city. And life will be on 24 hours there. Shops, restaurants, hotels, whatever. Just like you find in every major downtown, in every major city of the world. That's what we have here.
Beijing or
yes, anywhere. Each city has gotten this. And this is the core of the business, the central business district. This is where the money of the country is turned around. But it's not yet developed here. What we have is just the cardinals. And if we can do that in the next 30 years, that would be fantastic. Government should now involve the international community. Not only should they involve the international community, they should open up to the private sector worldwide. Let people come in and help us develop the city. The economy of the country as it is now is not in the situation where government can build the city totally. And I don't even think that it is the intention of the designers that every infrastructure, every major development in this city will be public funded. No. Venture capital from all across the world should be attracted here, and the only thing that government needs to do is to put in place the enabling environment, is to put in place laws to secure these resources as they come in, so that those who will come to invest can move it back. And even when they decide to stay here, that they will be able to have that money turned around in such a way that they are not shortchanged.
What a beautiful place Abuja will be when the boulevard is completed. And I hope I'm not just the only one praying for it to be a reality soon.
Still to come is the Infrastructure Watch, where we will look at the state of major infrastructure across the cities of Nigeria. Our focus today is on pedestrian bridges in the Federal Capital Territory.
Let's take a break. We will be back shortly.
A pedestrian bridge or footbridge is a bridge built solely for pedestrians. They are urban infrastructure that are primarily used to segregate pedestrians from vehicular traffic. The Federal Capital Territory Administration has made efforts over the years to build pedestrian bridges on the expressway close to places where there is increasing settlement. However, some residents have continued to shun the pedestrian bridges located at different parts of the FCT, choosing to risk their lives crossing the expressways. The Federal Capital Territory Administration had in 2017 erected barbed wires at designated places to discourage residents from crossing the expressways, but the wires were vandalized. Before the bridges were constructed, statistics from the Federal Road Safety Commission showed that about 100 deaths occur every 3 months on the highway. The big question now is, why do most pedestrians subject themselves to so much risk by not using the pedestrian bridges built for that purpose?
Yes, it's not very nice for people to cross the road. Can you see this bridge now? Many people are climbing it, you understand? Many like to cross, maybe they want to very fast.
Some persons have different reasons for doing different things.
Okay.
Some it is their mentality. They feel it is faster for them crossing the road rather than using this. Some will even tell you that the stress of climbing the staircase is another thing. So there could be some other reasons.
I would say that some persons are lazy.
Lazy?
Yes, because most of them will think that climbing the stairs here become it's not difficult for them to waste their time. So they prefer not using the pedestrian bridge. So they'll prefer crossing the road.
Well, I think, well, to some people they will think because it wastes their time, like stress. They don't want a situation whereby they will have to climb the staircase and start walking for a long distance. But some people, their own advantage will be like, where they are being dropped is far from the bridge, so they will be like, I would want to just take this shortcut instead of walking down to the pedestrian bridge.
I think the sanction that government should use here is that if a vehicle hits somebody, to my own understanding, the driver shouldn't hold responsible. Are you getting it? So by the time that the driver is not being held responsible, then people will learn lesson from it. If government can actually implement that, it will go a long way.
To me, it's not advisable for them to cross the highway. So government should, if it is possible for the government to provide persons to be watching these people in order for them not to cross this road, it should be better. There's a better one, no. They arrest them. Maybe they arrest them. If you maybe I like supposed to have like security around their side. If you are crossing, they arrest you. You pay like 500 or 5,000. If it's not too small, it doesn't mean everybody get money.
We have a society where laws are not obeyed. So if there are law enforcement agents that be trying to direct people or prevent people from crossing the major road and use the pedestrian, it will be okay.
Now, number one, let's say for instance now, let me use a case study of what they call it, Day. You understand?
Yes.
If you go there now, there is burglary being put there.
Yes.
Are you getting it? I think that should be such thing should be implemented on all the whole major roads. Are you getting it?
Yes.
Because when such things are being put there, I don't think the person will fly. The person will be compelled to use the pedestrian bridge.
But for my own advice for the Nigerian, it's not for my sake, for the sake of people around everybody. The bridge is okay. Please, Nigeria, Muna know they die like chicken, I beg. Muna they use the bridge, I beg. That is my advice. Well, the pedestrian bridge has been built for the general public to pass by. You know, I wouldn't advise anybody to just cross the major road just like that because it's very risky. It can take someone's life. So it's very advisable for one to just use the pedestrian bridge instead of crossing the major road.
That's what I'm saying. So my advice to them is that they shouldn't be using the major road. Rather, the pedestrian bridge is meant to be used.
You've heard the different reasons people have for using and not using the pedestrian bridge. But whatever your reasons are for not using the pedestrian bridge, remember your safety is more important.
Welcome back. It's still the infrastructure. Moving on to our special future segment. Today, we will be looking at renewable energy using solar as a solution to the long-lasting power crisis in Nigeria and the efforts of the African Development Bank to combat epilepsy power situation in Africa. Stay with us.
Poor power supply, which seems to have defied all solutions, continue to be a major setback to successive government in Nigeria. About 60 to 70% of Nigeria's population of almost 200 million people are living without regular access to electricity. The majority of rural homes are not connected to the national grid. This has made the Nigerian industrial development and economic diversification plans difficult to achieve. The energy crisis, which has engulfed Nigeria for over 2 decades, have been enormous and has largely contributed to the incidence of poverty by paralyzing industrial and commercial activities during this period. Experts estimate annual economic loss through power outages at about 126 billion naira. According to an analysis by the United States Agency for International Development, USAID, Nigeria's electricity output currently stands at an average of 5,000 megawatts, which is far below the installed capacity of 12.522 megawatts. These figures are grossly inadequate relative to the population size and the need of the economy. Though millions of households and businesses rely on self-generated electricity through power generating sets, this represents a major source of waste, several health and environmental costs, as well as other inefficiencies. Although successive governments have made efforts to end this crisis, with the return of democracy in 1999, the Obasanjo government was said to have spent about $16 billion into the power project. Also, the Goodluck Jonathan administration privatized the two arms of the power sector value chain so as to enhance efficiency. Despite all this, constant power is still a mirage. The question to ask is, what is the way forward? What measures have other countries taken to ensure power availability? One direction the world is heading is an alternative reliable energy source. This harvests energy from solar, wind, and bioenergy, which is outside the usual hydro energy Nigeria is used to. The world seems to be focusing on solar as an alternative energy. This is because solar is safer and is readily available. And with the availability of sunlight in Nigeria and sub-Saharan Africa, constant power through solar can be harvested and used. Countries such as China, United States, Germany, India are leading in the usage of solar energy. Presently, the United Arab Emirates is investing in an ambitious, concentrated solar power project. Although the African Development Bank took proactive measures in 2017 to tackle the epileptic electricity supply in Africa. It embarked on a huge desert solar initiative to make Africa a renewable powerhouse titled Desert to Power Initiative. This tend to harness sun energy to power the Sahel region. The initiative aims to develop and provide 10 gigawatts of solar energy by 2025 and supply 250 million people with green electricity, including 90 million through off-grid installations. The project will span across 11 countries, among which are Burkina Faso, Djibouti, Ethiopia, Eritrea, Mali, Mauritania, Niger, Nigeria, Chad, Senegal, and Sudan. The Desert to Power Initiative is part of the New Deal on Energy, the transformative partnership to help the continent achieve universal electricity access by 2025, providing 160 gigawatts of new capacity, establishing 130 million new on-grid and 75 million off-grid connections. This could be the magic wand that will transform Africa, especially Nigeria, from darkness to light.
Welcome back. Well, I'm a kind of person that if there is uninterrupted power for 2 whole days, I consider it abnormal and I begin to think that something is wrong somewhere. With the abundance of sunlight in Nigeria, and if the government and private sectors work harder, in addition to the efforts of the African Development Bank, I tell you, my children, our children wouldn't have to see constant power as abnormal, but the other way around. And this is the point where I'll be saying a-bye on today's edition of the program. Thanks for being part of the program, and I hope you had a great time. Join me again next week for another exciting episode.